Yeah, how's it guys? And I'm just here to answer the question how to build camera feature in a website or in a web application. Someone just asked me that question and asked me to make the video to walk them through that short um, video. So just to answer the question, you will need a few tools to get that done, and it's simple and straightforward. So then the first thing that you're going to require, you will need any IDE. In this case, I'm using VS Code, and what you need to have is for you to go there and create your folder. Then you can name the folder anything that you want, but here let's name this folder accessing video, or accessing video camera feature, right? And inside that folder, what you're going to do, you're going to make sure that you create 3 files only to get that done. So then the first thing, you're going to create the test.html. It's test.html, and you create your test.css, and you create your test.js to store your JavaScript functions, right? And thereafter, you just need to install the live server. I'm using live server. This is my setting on the setting.json to display what I'm writing on the browser in real time. So there's no need to refresh. So then let's start. Test.html, what you need to have in there, you need to make sure that you start by saying doc type, which is to identify your document type, and then create a tag, HTML tag. And then inside your HTML tag, make sure that you create another tag and name it head. Inside the head, that's where you're going to give your page title, right? So then you need to create that page title tag. So then let's give it a title. What should be the title? The title is the feature that we're trying to achieve. Let's name it accessing video camera feature, right? So then it needs to look something like this. So then after that, what you need to do, you need to link your style sheet. So then you link rel, then you give that style sheet, you give it a style sheet, and you give it a reference of the href, and then give it the file name of your CSS, which is the test.css, right? And then just outside the body, very quick, let's create the body tag outside the header where it closes. So then what you need to do, you just need to create a div. So then creating a div, it's simple. So then your first div, you need to give it an ID of modal, because you need to create a modal to display what the camera is going to be showing. So then also give it a class, which is a modal in this case, right? So then inside that div, what you need to do is to create another div and name it, or give it a class. You give it a class of modal content. So then you will give this one modal content, and inside that modal content div, that's where you're going to render your video. So then you need to create a video tag inside that. And then your video, you need to give an ID of camera feed, because it will be the camera feeding your model. And then also make sure to give it autoplay in this case, and that will be that. And don't forget to make sure that you inject your JavaScript for rendering and calling functions to display your video. So then you will do script, and then that script you need to give it a source, and then the source, it needs to be that test.js in this case. So you're done with that, and let's just have a look. Let me refresh. As you can see, this is the test.html that we're reading, right? So next thing, let's jump in onto the CSS. Very quick, without wasting any time. The CSS, you need to first make sure that you comment. It is very, I always advise people to comment their CSS, because CSS is very complicated. You must comment so that you know what you are doing. So then it's // then $, then inside that space, then you write your file name there, and just like that. So underneath, you will start with // as we did with $, then you give it modal container. So with the modal container, we will say dot modal curly brackets, then inside that dot modal curly brackets, what you need to display, you need to give the display a block, and then position, give it a fixed. Then you also need to give it a z index, right? And z index, give it a 1, and left, give it a 0, and top also give it a 0, and width, make sure to give it 100, and also the height, make sure that you assign it 100, right? And background color, you make sure that you give it that RGBA black color. So you just need to give it that black color. So then you will say 0, 0, 0, 4. That will give you black, and you're done. Then go 2 step down, and then you do // $. Inside that, you now need to do the modal content. Remember, up there you did the modal container. Here you need to do the modal content, right? So let's go ahead and create our modal content. Inside that, you give it a position again, just to position it. Position here, you need to give it absolute. So you give that absolute, and then top, you give it, you can give it any that you want, but you can give it 10 just for the sake of following along. So give it 10, and then left, you give it 10 px, right? So even here, make sure that you give it a pixels. So you also need to do the background color and give it white. So if you know the white color code, it's hash FE, and that's it. So then you need to also give it border radius. So then the border radius, you must make sure that you give the border radius something like 10 pixels in this case, and make sure that you give it also a padding of 10 pixels in this case, right? And give it a width of 300 pixels, right? And also give it a maximum width. It's important to also assign a maximum width of 100% always, right? And give it a height of 100%. Then you can change maybe the height of 100%. Let's set it to auto instead. So you can give it a border. Give it a border of 2px, and maybe a solid with the solid color of gray. Let's do it like this. And also let's give it a box shadow. We give it 0, then give it 5 pixels, and give it 15 pixels, and give it the RGBA color of slightly black. So then, like we did on the modal container, here in modal content you can say 0, 0, 0, 0.3, just like that. You close it, and then you go 2 step down and do the video camera feed. So then with the video camera feed, you need to give it a width. So with this width, you need to give it 100% width, and also make sure that the height you assign it to auto. And the border radius, you need to make sure that you give it 10 pixels, right? So then you're done with the CSS. Now you need to come on to the most interesting part, which is the JavaScript. So then to write the JavaScript to link and wire everything, to communicate and call the functions to display, to command your camera, it's easy. So what you need to do, you need to come here and say constant camera feed equals to document dot get element by ID, and then let's specify that ID. Give it the ID of camera feed, right? So you close that. When you close that, you need to say navigator dot media devices. So navigator.media devices, you can then go ahead and say dot get user media. So you're trying to get user media, right? And go ahead and say dot then stream. You assigning it a stream, right? And you need to close that stream. So just do it like this, close that, and then inside that you need to give it curly brackets and go inside and say camera feed dot source object equals to stream, just like that. And then I can say camera feed dot play, it's a function, and close that function. So when you close that function, make sure that you close that, and then it needs to say camera feed dot play instead, right? So then underneath that, what you need to do, you just need to come and catch the error as much as you can. So you're catching the error. So the error that you're trying to catch is console dot error, and then you log the message that you want to see when things go south, so that it will throw error accessing camera and then print that error. So then just to give it a bit of an alert, you can then again come and say alert, then give it there was an issue accessing the camera, and concatenate, you concatenate error dot message with that, right? And then you close it, and then you come here and close it with the bracket and that. Then you shall be sorted. Now, moment of truth. Let's see. Let's refresh. Let's see. Let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. See navigator.media devices, and then you get user media and video colon assign it to true, and then stream equals to that, then catch the error, console.error, which is that, then close that. So then what this alert is going to do is going to make sure that it provide you with the feedback if the camera fails. It will tell you that there was an issue accessing the camera if the camera fails, right? So then on the test, this is the main file that is going to be rendered by your browser with the injected JavaScript in there, right? And it must stay like that. So you need to make sure that your CSS looks something like this, right? And your camera is now there showing what is supposed to be shown. So voila, you are good to go. See you on the next one.